So the green flag waves at the end of the pre-grid for Minimax. Race 2 of the meeting. Heat 1 out of 2 for Minimax. Let's have a look at the starting grid. So on pole position, Alexander Klugel in the 180 will line up on pole. Alongside will be the 121 of David Girouche, and that's the front row. Simon Mayer in the 145 and the 118 of Mika Trapp. That is row number 2. Kenyon Washington in the 114 and Naim Bretag in the 191 complete the top 3 rows. Rounding out the 9-strong grid will be the 150 of Matthias Schulte. Then we've got the 153 of Devin Leon Ukar and then Ramona Hummel in the 104. Drivers have now completed their sighting lap. They're now on to the official formation lap. And as with the Micro Max drivers, their heats will be 7 minutes plus an additional lap. It will be the same for the Junior Road Tax drivers. And then for seniors, DD2 and DD2 Masters, all their races today will be 10 minutes plus an additional lap. So the sun continues to shine here on Saturday afternoon as Minimax drivers get themselves ready. We've got someone a little bit behind at the back of the field, but the top 8, and there is Ramona Hummel running on the CRG chassis in the 104. And now they're going to keep us waiting. Some of the drivers, while Matthias Schulte weaving from side to side in the 150 entry. Get some heat into those Mojo tyres, the D2s. So we've got 2 more corners remaining before they go into the tram lines for the first time of asking this season. So we had a clean start with the Micromax drivers in their first heat just a few moments ago. Will we have the same here for Minimax? So they come out of the final corner. Into the tram lines we go. Are we ready? Are we steady? Revs rise. And the lights have gone out. We are out and racing. And Alexander Klugel gets a brilliant start in the initial phase of the race. And it looks like Kenyon Washington and Matthias Schulte, I believe, have made their way up to 3rd and 4th, respectively. Well, there has been a few positions changed, so they come through out of turn number 7. And there is Matthias Schulte up into P4. Kenyon Washington is in 3rd and is closing in on the top 2. And it looks like there's a change. That is the 118 of Mika Trapp that's got past the 150 of Matthias Schulte. That's for 4th on the road. And now Mika Trapp takes a look over the right-hand shoulder to see where Schulte is. Might be under the same awning, but all's fair in love and karting. And when you're gunning for position, so at the moment, Alexander Klugel leads from Simon Mayer. Kenyon Washington rounds out the top 3. Mika Trapp, Matthias Schulte, David Girouche in 6th, ahead of Naim Bretag, Devin Leon Ukar and Ramona Hummel rounding out the 9 strong. As there is a bit of a side-by-side battle that is between the likes of Matthias Schulte and David Girouche. That is for 5th on the road, and Girouche has got the advantage. Oh, a bit of a wallop of curb there for Matthias Schulte going through the exit of turn number 8, and that could give the opportunity to Naim Bretag to maybe filter up the inside. But you can just see how close it is. Devin Leon Ukar closing in on the 191, but that was a wallop of curb that Matthias Schulte took. And David Girouche able to get past and find himself into 5th place. As now Alexander Klugel trying to extend an initial advantage. But I'm going to be completely honest here. Mika Trapp, rounding out the top 4, has just put in the fastest lap of anybody. The 118, a 5.34 for the driver in 4th position. There's Matthias Schulte and Naim Bretag battling away over what is 6th place on the road. But here at the front of the field, there is Mika Trapp. He's closed on Kenyon Washington. He gives him the old Nigel Mansell dummy, but Washington having absolutely none of it. But then Mika Trapp's got the inside line for the next hairpin. Washington tries to effect the cutback, but on that particular occasion, the youngster, now, well, originally from the United States, Washington now based over here in Germany, closing in. He's got the slipstream going through turns 1 and 2 as Mika Trapp tries to get his head down. Washington waiting for his opportunity to strike, but then this is bringing in the 121 of David Girouche. So Girouche looking to see if he can get past Washington, gets a good run coming out of turn 5, looks through into turn 6. Oh, and he clashes with Washington, and Washington into the polystyrene barriers off of turn number 6. David Girouche went for the move, and all of a sudden, Washington is now out of the race, so he becomes the first retiree this weekend. I don't think that's the way that he wanted to start his Minimax career, did Kenyon Washington. But however, these things do happen. The main thing is that Kenyon Washington was okay. He's out of the car. He's just basically being allowed to come out as... Oh, now that's Matthias Schulte. Matthias Schulte loses the back end. The kart was going wide. And now there is a sign of absolute fury from that youngster in the 150. Now, I'm not too sure whether there might have been an instant double-waved yellows of where Kenyon Washington has gone off the circuit and is out of the race on lap number 4, unfortunately, for the young American based here in Germany. So 2 minutes and 50 still to go. Alexander Klugel has put in the fastest lap, but Simon Mayer has got to within, well, 0.8 of a second. And that now means that Simon Mayer is actually closing. Simon Mayer, based under the FM Racing awning, running on a Tony Kart chassis, is closing on Alexander Klugel. The gap was nearly 0.8 of a second last time around. That has gone down. That's gone down by over 0.3. Simon Mayer has just put in the fastest lap of the race. Mika Trapp now rounds out the top 3, 2 seconds behind Simon Mayer. David Girouche and Devin Leon Okar rounding out the top 5 positions ahead of Naim Bretag. Matthias Schulte has just crossed the line. He's dropped to 7th position, unfortunately, the 150. Ramona Hummel will be the 8th and last finisher. Driver to cross the line, with Kenyon Washington now out of the race. A real shame for the 114. But these things do happen in racing. It will be down to race controllers to decide what happens if there is any further action required post-race. 1 minute and 38 seconds still to go. Simon Mayer is trying to close in on Alexander Klugel, but a little bit further back. Devin Leon Ukar is being closed in on by Naim Bretag in the 191. And this is the battle for the last position of the top 5. And here comes Naim Bretag, steamrolling up the inside, using the slipstream to absolute perfection, and gets the job done. There is Alexander Klugel and Simon Mayer. They were just under a 1/4 of a second adrift, and you can see a very different line of how Simon Mayer is trying to use the momentum carry and takes a wider line coming into turns 9 and 10. But however, the thing is that will Simon Mayer have time on his side to close on Alexander Klugel and get past for the victory? Well, we have 44 seconds plus an additional lap to go, so it'll be this plus one more lap. So lap 7 in the books, on to the 8th and penultimate lap we go. Simon Mayer has dropped behind Alexander Klugel as David Girouche has just put in an absolutely blinding fastest lap of this race so far, 53.963, and I've just seen Naim Bretag has just been given a 5-second time penalty, and that is for what they've classed as unfair, aggressive driving, or pushing as it's more commonly known. But we're coming into the final couple of seconds. Timer has struck 0 here for Minimax as Alexander Klugel continues to hang on ahead of Simon Mayer as David Girouche is closing hand over fist. He was just under 0.8 behind Mika Trapp in the battle for 3rd position. That gap looks to be less than half a second as on to the final lap the leaders go. 0.33 between Klugel and Mayer. Trapp and Girouche, 0.333 between them. And David Girouche goes in and puts in another 53.8. So 53.844 on that particular occasion. As there, it's side by side between Mika Trapp and David Girouche. Girouche was looking towards the outside through turn 5 into turn 6. Now into the right-hander here at turn 7 for the final time. Mika Trapp is holding on, but David Girouche will be looking to get the opportunity he needs to get up into third place. But Alexander Klugel and Simon Mayer. Now, what's happened there? Mayer's gotten up the inside. He's gotten up in the inside, has Simon Mayer on the penultimate hairpin. And then the drag race happens. Alexander Klugel literally lights up the rear tyres, but he runs wide coming out of the final corner. Simon Mayer will get the line. Will he get it? He does by 33 thousandths of a second. Simon Mayer steals the victory from Alexander Klugel like candy from a baby. Mika Trapp finishes ahead of David Girouche in the battle for third place. Naim Pretag will take 5th, but because of the 5-second time penalty, now that will have been for the incident involving himself and Matthias Schulte, I would imagine. That's why Schulte was very, very upset. And that will mean that Naim Pretag will drop to 6th place. So Devin Leon Ukar will jump up into 5th place. Matthias Schulte takes 7th with Romulo Hummel in the CRG chassis, rounding out the 8th that finished the full distance. Well, Hummel a lap behind, but a real shame for Kenyon Washington, who unfortunately retired after contact between him and David Girouche on lap number 4. But Simon Mayer takes the victory by 33 thousandths of a second. Alexander Klugel in second, ahead of Mika Trapp and David Girouche, who are battling way over 3rd and 4th, respectively, going side by side on the exit of turn number 4 on the last lap. Naim Pretag will be demoted to 6th at the, after this, ahead of, well, behind Devin Leon Okar. Matthias Schulte in 7th, ahead of Romulo Hummel, and unfortunately a retirement for Kenyon Washington on lap number 4 of the race.